This is so wizard, Annie.
This is Beat 'em Down from Cult 45, the movie podcast, and you are listening to the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network.
Broadcasting very fast and very dangerous from the planet Malastare. You are listening to So Wizard.
You thinking people gonna die?
The only podcast to make the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
What's going on, everybody? It is time for episode number 262 of the So Wizard podcast. I'm your host, Joey DiCarlo. My co-hosts, the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
Hi.
And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagans.
Hello, everybody.
You are listening to So Wizard Podcast. Three friends discuss the world of nerd, podcasting weekly on the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. This week, we're going to talk some nerdy news. And then we're going to talk all about our trip to Connecticut's #1 Comic-Con, TerrifiCon. But before we get into that, let's see how everyone's doing this week. Marcellus Reagans, have you recovered from the con?
Yes.
Did you get con crud?
No, I didn't. I was very careful this time. I had my hand sanitizer. I only shook hands with Pina Comics, so if I get sick, it's going to be their fault.
I heard that John Ganache doesn't wash his hands, but you hear that from me.
I'm a dead man.
All right. What about you, Aubrey? How are you?
I'm all right. I don't have classes this week, so.
Woohoo, vacation.
Yeah. Just trying to get, everything done all in this week, so.
That doesn't sound like a vacation.
It is for me.
All right. Fantastic. Myself, I am exhausted, so that's really nothing new. That's not new. I'm always exhausted, but
right.
Yeah, I got home from the con. I really tried to be like the cool kid and stay up and do some stuff, and I got home at 8:30 at night. I laid down at 8:45 at night. I was dead asleep by 9 o'clock. I couldn't make it any longer than that. But then I've just been working and sleeping at both jobs the last 2 days. So
yeah, walking around a convention, it takes a lot out of you. If you're if you're just walking around, you don't realize how tired you are until after you get home. So yeah, I was definitely feeling it.
Yeah, I also hadn't slept yet. I got out of work Saturday morning, went home, took a shower, changed, and picked you up. So
yeah, whenever I start to feel like, oh, I'm so tired, I just think about you, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about and some interviews and things from the con, as well as some nerdy news. So, Marcellus, let's get started. Why don't you tell the listeners where they can find more So Wizard podcast?
All right. So everybody can go to SoWizardPodcast.com, where you will find new episodes every week. You'll find movie reviews from yours truly, Netflix and Amazon streaming picks from our buddy, the awesome Adam Wallyhawk. You'll also find our merchandise there. You can purchase some of our So Wizard t-shirts. Look good while you're representing our show. Another great way to support our show is by doing your Amazon shopping through the link that we keep right on the website. There's a big Amazon logo, big A. You click on that A, you do your Amazon shopping, you receive your products, and that way you'll be helping out our tiny little podcast here. You can also find our social media links on the website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So definitely get at us. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review while you're there. You can also find us on the Stitcher Radio app for your tablet or smartphone, Podbean, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We have a Patreon page that you can donate extra funds. You receive extra content from us. We also have a YouTube page, videos going up almost every week. A lot of them from Adam Wallyhawk discussing. Right now he's doing a feature on Steven Spielberg films, which is pretty cool. Shout out to the Geek World All-Stars Podcasting Network. Back to you, Joey.
Yeah! Pokemon, you gotta catch them all. Da-na-na-na-na.
Ooh, that's a blast from the past. All right, let's get into the news. Let's see what's going on this week.
Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news. to bring you the news, boy.
All right, so this week in nerdy news, not really a lot of big things that happened. I think with San Diego Comic-Con happening last week, everything dropping, then there isn't really a lot of real hotness that's coming up. But a couple of things I wanted to talk about. They announced before that Hasbro was going to be doing their own cinematic universe, trying to incorporate all of their properties together in one franchise. It looks like that G.I. Joe reboot is definitely in the works. It's going to be handled by two writers that I'm kind of a fan of. They used to work on Alias. They did some of the really good episodes of Alias. They also did one of the Mission Impossibles. One of the, I don't know, you can say like kind of marks in their career is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. I happen to really like the second one, but that's just me. But the one thing that kind of stuck out about the story is that they were going to feature a character named Chuckles, who, as a G.I. Joe fan, G.I. Joe fans would probably be more aware of that. Get the joke? I have no idea who Chuckles is. So what do you guys think of a new G.I. Joe reboot featuring Chuckles? Let's go with our G.I. Joe expert, Joey.
I'm super excited. I really want a new G.I. Joe movie, and I want it to be awesome and cheesy. I think we watched Hobbs and Shaw last week, and I think that's pretty much the tone and type of movie I'm looking for when it comes to G.I. Joe, maybe even a little cheesier. And Chuckles is certainly a ridiculous character to feature in the movie. He's like an undercover agent.
Okay.
But he came out in 1987 as a toy, so he's dressed like Magnum P.I. It's literally a blonde guy in a Hawaiian shirt tucked into military pants.
Oh my God, I love it.
And he just came with a pistol. It was as a kid, it was like one of the lamest G.I. Joe figures ever released. But as you get older, you're like, this fucking rules. So maybe we could just get David Harbour to play Chuckles, and he literally doesn't have to change. He could walk right off the set of.
Seriously, does Chuckles have a big mustache, a big bushy mustache?
No, but you know, it's the aughts, so we can always make some changes.
Yeah.
Gotta have that mustache representation.
Yeah, I hate to be the one to tell you, dude, but Chuckles is gonna be played by an Asian teenage girl. Sorry.
That's fine. Are they in a wheelchair and transgender?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Scarlett Johansson, come on down.
That's right. She's like, I could play that.
All right, Aubrey, are you familiar with? Well, you probably don't even know who Chuckles is, but were you a fan of the other G.I. Joe movies?
Before you were born, Aubrey, this toy came out.
I didn't really watch G.I. Joe that much. I honestly, I don't remember it. I used to carry around a toy, and I don't even remember the character's name.
Snake Eyes.
No, it was some weird dude. I don't remember.
Were you a fan of the other movies that came out with C. Tates?
I didn't even watch them.
Yeah. So this would be something totally new for you. Like
it would, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, as I was watching, I almost say Calvin and Hobbes. As I was watching Hobbs and Shaw, I could, with the Black Superman, I'm like, this is pretty much a G.I. Joe movie. Like and they say Fast and Furious, but it's pretty much they're moving into the G.I. Joe territory. All I'm waiting for is for Hasbro to somehow worm their way into the Fast and the Furious universe, so we can get Fast and the Furious Transformers with G.I. Joes. Like that's it. That's the end game right there. They put that together, and I'm all in.
You really want a movie with Vin Diesel and Mark Wahlberg in it?
Hell yeah! Are you kidding me? That'd be awesome.
They could go around in different states learning about the Romeo and Juliet laws in each state.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed certain aspects of the second G.I. Joe movie. So I'm down with it. It's a good property. There's still a ton of fans out there. If they make it closer to the cartoon show, I think they'll have a winner. Maybe not get super sci-fi. Maybe just go straight for the toys. But we'll see. All right. So then in the next bit of news, in Marvel's attempt to get me to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've announced that Haley Atwell is going to be appearing on the show as Agent Carter. I really like her as Agent Carter. I loved season 1. I still haven't gotten around to finishing season 2 of the Agent Carter TV show that came out a few years ago, but Haley Atwell is the bomb. If they want to bring her into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention. I'm ready. Aubrey, how do you feel about Agent Carter coming back to network television?
I'm interested to see how they're going to do that. Because isn't she like a million years old at that time period? I haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I have no idea. But
How much time do you have?
I'm pretty sure, without having seen like the last season, I'm pretty sure there was one season where they went into space. I'm pretty sure the next season they're going to travel back in time. Does that sound about right, Joey?
Yeah, you're pretty accurate there. Without any spoilers or anything, it's going to be very easy for them to meet Agent Carter with minimal special effects involved.
Nice. So, Aubrey, what do you think? Do you think that might be something that you'll want to tune into?
no.
No. That's all right. What if I told you Christina Hendricks was going to be on the show playing a bad guy?
That'd be kind of cool.
All right, it's not going to happen, but I'm gonna get on that right away. See if I can make that happen. All right, Joey, what about you, man? You're a fan of Haley Atwell.
Any red-blooded American male is a fan of Haley Atwell and other countries as well. Yeah, no, I love her. She's smoking hot. She was awesome as Agent Carter. Her TV show was kind of boring, to be quite honest with you. So.
Wow.
But yeah, she made it all better. And I've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since season 1, so of course I'm going to watch it anyway. But I'm interested to see how they wrap it all up. And I'm glad it's going to wrap in some of the other Marvel TV characters.
Now, are you up to date with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you noticed, is there one season or 2 more seasons that's coming?
There's one more.
This
next
okay.
season that's coming up will be the final season.
Okay. And I know they already finished filming it, so there's no change in it now. It's in the can.
No, it's done. They already had their wrap party.
Yep. So do you think they're going to stick the landing, or you think we're going to get another Game of Thrones incident?
Well, define stick the landing.
Take the 8 fans that are still watching the show and make them go, hey, that was pretty good.
I love the show. I think season 4 is probably some of the best genre television I've ever seen. But the last few seasons, they slashed their budget, and you could kind of tell. Yeah. It's really been a lot of how much can we repurpose the same 3 hallways, and how many times can things happen in an empty warehouse.
Yeah.
So, which is fine, but last season wasn't great, but it was good, and I always watch it as long as Agent Simmons is on. So
now I'm kind of bummed they didn't bring back what's her face from Adrienne Palicki, whatever her character name was.
Oh, Mockingbird.
Yeah, Mockingbird. If they had brought her back, I would definitely be watching that show again.
She's on the Orville now, so she's busy. She can't be on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They brought back her husband.
Right? Who cares? Who gives a shit about that guy? Bring her back.
We were so close to live action West Coast Avengers, and we didn't get it. So.
Oh, well.
Very sad. Very sad.
Let's see. In the last bit of news, we got a trailer that just dropped recently for a new movie about Dolomite. It's not going to be theatrical. It's going to be hitting Netflix. But it stars Eddie Murphy as Dolomite. I have some of his movies in a huge box of DVDs that I procured from the trash bins at Blockbuster when I was there, that I definitely kept. I never got around to watching it, but this trailer looks amazing. I had to watch it on my phone. I haven't had a chance to really kick back and watch it on the big screen, but holy shit. Eddie Murphy in a kind of a biopic. This looks amazing. I can't wait to see this. What did you guys think of the trailer, Joey?
I thought it was awesome. I love Dolomite. Are you kidding me? That movie's amazing. And also the sequel, Human Tornado, is amazing as well.
That's right.
But this looks great. I like Eddie Murphy, even though he makes really weird choices movie-wise in the last, 15, 20 years. So, good for him. But, I'm excited to see what they do with this. And it looks really funny and really cool. And Wesley Snipes is in it.
Yeah, man. Everyone talks about where Wesley Snipes is. He's been around, just not like in major movies, but it's good to see him back on a front stage, I guess.
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg.
Right.
But no, I'm excited. This is looks like it. The trailer looks really funny. I'm really interested in watching this, and I love the Dolomite movie, so of course I want to see this. Aubrey, before you were born, this movie came.
Jeez, I was barely born. Aubrey, were you familiar with Dolomite at all? Have you ever heard of him?
Nope.
Nope. What'd you think of the trailer? Is it? I mean, it's a little bit out of your wheelhouse, but you think that might be something you would want to check out?
I don't know. Eddie Murphy just kind of annoys me at this point. I like him better in animation, like
Shrek.
in Shrek. Yeah. I don't know. He just annoys me otherwise. He's funny in the 90s, and now I feel like he's just old. Almost like Jim Carrey.
But Eddie's going to make a comeback. You'll see.
I don't know.
This is step one of the Eddie Murphy renaissance. All right. So then in the last bit of news, I don't know if I said that before, but this time I mean it. This is the last bit of news. It looks like the wait, guys, it looks like we got to do it. We got to go back.
We have to go back!
It's been a while, but we're going to revisit the DCEU. Warner Brothers is reportedly prioritizing the Batgirl movie. They want to get a director on there right away. Joss Whedon is out. He's actually been out for a while. He was out back when, not that long after Justice League came out. The screenwriter, someone who did, she did Bumblebee, she did the Birds of Prey movie that's coming out soon. She is like the new hotness. They're really excited to get her script, and they're really excited to get this fast-tracked. Now, with Joss Whedon being out of it, is there any directors that you specifically would want to see handle a Batgirl movie? I know. As long as it's a good movie, who cares who directs it? But is there anyone in particular whose vision that you think would be really good for this? Joey?
No. Zack Snyder.
Oh, God, no.
Kal-El, no.
All right, Aubrey, what about you?
No, I don't want to see this movie at all. So I don't want to see anybody direct it.
What, you don't want a Batgirl movie?
No.
What do you have against Batgirl?
It's not even like Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
I think it might be. I mean, it could be Cassandra Cain, but I think it's going to be Barbara Gordon.
Isn't it that Ruby Rose thing?
No, that's Batwoman on the WB TV.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, Aubrey, if you think you're not going to have to see this movie.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Ooh.
I don't know anybody who would direct this fucking movie. Like that would even matter. It's going to be someone stupid.
They were able to get Matt Reeves to do the other Batman movie, so I think someone in that caliber is going to be good enough to do the Batgirl movie.
Get the woman who directed Punisher Warzone.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. That's a little too on the nose, but God, I would love to see her direct another movie. She's amazing. The Punisher movie is amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know who I would want to see, but I don't know, Olivia Wilde might be one. I mean, she only made one movie, but that's all it really takes. One movie that does successful that the critics love, and you get carte blanche.
Yeah, but that was like a comedy with people talking most of the time. That wasn't like a big budget superhero movie.
Yeah, I know. You can tell that to Taika Waititi too. He had a big budget superhero movie after he did a comedy.
This is true, but he's also a man,
and men can do anything.
That's right.
I'm just kidding, folks. Ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm very excited to see who they get to direct a Batgirl movie. There's still a huge list that I have on my wall of all of the DC Warner Brother movies that are coming out. So far, I've been able to check off 2 of them. There's still about 18 more, so let's see what happens.
Can't wait for Deathstroke,
starring
Joe Manchin.
Yeah. Yes, that's happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I got for the news, unless you guys had anything you want to talk about.
That's it.
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk all about our trip to TerrifiCon, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're having fun listening to this episode of So Wizard Podcast. But did you know you can actually get paid just for listening to us? I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. We've just discovered a new app called Podcoin, and it literally pays you to listen to podcasts. Here's how it works. You listen to the podcast you love, and you earn Podcoin while you listen. Then you turn that Podcoin in for gift cards at places like Amazon or Starbucks, or if, unlike me, you're a good person, you could actually donate it to charity. The The more you listen, the more you earn. Here's what you got to do. Download the free app right now on your iPhone or Android device. And I've got a special code for you. Simply use our code, WIZARD, when you sign up, and you'll get 300 Podcoin just to start off. If you listen to enough of us on there, you can get a drink at Starbucks or an Amazon gift card, and it's like I gave it to you. So go ahead, go listen to this podcast or any of your other favorite shows on Podcoin and sign up with the code WIZARD. It'll change the way you listen to podcasts.
All right, and we're back from our break to talk about our trip to TerrifiCon. This was me and Markellis' second trip to TerrifiCon as press at the Mohegan Sun Expo Center. Awesome guest list, huge celebration of Batman 89. Markellis, give me your initial impressions of our day at TerrifiCon. Did you have a lot of fun?
I did have a lot of fun. This convention is, it's like the perfect size. It's not a small convention, though it feels very intimate. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's like a vast sea of, oh my God, I can't do everything at once, or I'm not going to get a chance to do everything. It's a decent size, but there's still room to walk around, and it's still kind of crowded. So it's like the size of it is perfect. The blend of up and coming creators versus seasoned creators versus toys versus old comic books versus celebrities is a really good mix. It's like a nice mixture of all of them together without one thing overpowering the other thing. So I think, out of all of the conventions that I've gone to, if you don't go to a bunch of conventions, but you want to, give a try for like a big one, but not one where you're completely overwhelmed, I think TerrifiCon would be like a really good starting con, just to get a taste of what the big con is like. If you enjoy that, then you can move on to the really big ones, where it's a madhouse.
Right. I mean, I didn't feel like at any time during the day when we were there that it was ever overwhelmingly busy, and not in a bad way, but it's because the convention center it's in is huge. There's plenty of room to walk around and enjoy yourself and look at the tables and look at the booths and look at the artists' work. I never felt overwhelmed, maybe once or twice towards the left-hand side of the room, but never awful. I never felt like I had to fall to the ground and have a panic attack at any time. So that was good. So, yeah, I mean, I got out of work Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. I went home. I took a shower. I went and picked you up. We journeyed down to Mohegan Sun Casino to go to the TerrifiCon. And the first thing we did when we got in the door of the casino was...
I was going to say get our bag checked. But no, the first thing we did was stop off and get some Krispy Kreme donuts. Because up here in the Northeast, Krispy Kreme is not that prevalent. In fact, I think that might be the closest one to me. It's like an hour and a half away. So
right, it's all about Dunkin' Donuts up here.
Yeah, exactly. So there was no way I was going to be within, proximity of a Krispy Kreme without grabbing a few of those. So that's how I started my morning. I was good.
Awesome. And then we made our way over to the con, where there was a gigantic line of people waiting to get in. But thankfully, since we were pressed, we were able to jump right past that line and enter the con. And we walked right in, and there was so much cool stuff to see. I mean, we were able to see a lot of cool things in Artist Alley. Now, you got to talk to a bunch of people in Artist Alley. Mark, what were some of the cool things that you saw when you were there?
Well, God, is a lot of our friends, people that we've seen throughout the years at the conventions. I was able to meet up with Hector Rodriguez, my boy Hero, and pick up a cool Afro Samurai sticker from him. He does amazing stickers. His artwork is amazing. I'm definitely gonna try to get some of his images on the So Wizard page, So Wizard Facebook page. You can take a look at it. I realize now that stickers are my new thing. That's my new thing now. So I'm all about getting stickers. So I got a sticker from him. I got a sticker from Keith Gleason, who we went to his show, Plastic City, a little while ago. And he has an awesome comic book called The Mighty Mascots. And he has some cool stickers. So I definitely got one of those. And Adam Wallenta, our buddy, friend of the show, him and his son created Punk Taco, that amazing book that is just beautiful and funny and just completely unique. I was able to get some stickers from him too, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, one of the really cool things that I love about this convention is that before you get into the convention hall, there's this really long walkway where they have like displays and some cosplayers and stuff. But on the left side is just these gigantic blow up images of comic book covers, of like really famous comic book covers. Then just to reiterate that this is a comic book convention. Like this is the seeds of this thing that we're doing, that we're a part of, is based in comic books. And having that wall showing all of those amazing covers is just like a great reminder. I love seeing that every year.
Right. And that's one thing I love about TerrifiCon is, yeah, it's huge, but it's not an autograph mill.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not, and I'm not going to name names of other conventions, but it's not Artist Alley shoved in a corner somewhere and just 30,000 square feet of varying celebrities and just grinding out $20, $30 an autograph 8x10s. And it seems like there's a lot of people there for comic books as well. So if you're comic book focused, this is like probably the best you're going to get in the Northeast period for that type of focused show. That's not a one day smaller show like Plastic City or the one up in New Hampshire. I can't remember the name of right now because we can never go. But there's some really cool like one day comic focused conventions around in the area, BingCon. But you know, this is for a bigger size show. This is probably the best you're going to get in the area. So it's really cool to go down there and check it out. So we got to go to the Billy D. Williams panel.
Yes.
And this was super important that we go. We saw him a few years ago at Rhode Island Comic Con, and we wanted to re-experience it. And the room was huge where they have the main panels, and it was packed.
Dude, I couldn't believe it was like standing room only. Like you turn around and the whole back of the place was people just standing up. Go Billy D.
Works every time.
Yeah, it was a really cool panel. You know, one of the things that kind of cracked me up about it is that before Billy D comes out, they play like a video of clips from certain movies that he was in. And, you know, there's like, you know, the classic Lady Sings the Blues, Mahogany. And of course, when they get to like Lando Calrissian, everyone like claps and cheers. Woo! You know, it's great. But there's one clip from Undercover Brother where he plays the Colonel. And it's the part where they showed a commercial of him with the selling fried chicken. And there's a part at the end where it's like, yeah, you know, every bucket of fried chicken, you get a free malt liquor. And I'm watching it going, this is not the right crowd for this. Like, I've seen Undercover Brother and I love that movie and I love that clip. But at a comic book convention in Connecticut, that is not like, that clip does not quite work the same with that crowd. So there's like a little calm in a room where I felt like I was the only guy that was like, "Pah!"
I appreciated they had a clip from him on the Jeffersons.
Yes, it's classic.
That was awesome. And the thing I love about these Billy D. Williams panels is that he's very old and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no time for bullshit at all.
So somebody will ask a question and he'll just be like, I don't care about that. But then like, you're not mad. You're like, yes. And then everybody cheers. He seems like a really cool guy. He seems really appreciative of people liking his work, even stuff that's not, especially stuff that's not Star Wars, but even Star Wars to this day. Like he's not sick of it. He's not burned out. He seems like a really cool guy. So. And probably one of very few celebrities that will let you go up to his table and just say hi and shake his hand without buying anything.
Yeah. But I was thinking about doing that because his rep that he's been with for years, who was also really funny. He's the guy that kind of sits with Billy D and kind of fields the questions for him. He's a really funny dude. I really enjoyed him. But he was like, yeah, just come by the table and check out some of Billy D's artwork. And I was going to do it. But the line to get to him was so long. I'm like, oh, God, we have very limited time here. As much as I want to just walk up to him and shake his hand, man, that line was long. That would have been that would have been the whole trip right there. Right.
So then we split separate ways. I went to the Hangin' with Chad live panel, which was run by Chad, who is part of the Did I Do That podcast, which is a Family Matters recap podcast that just started this past week. And he does a live like comedy show. like a game show, and it was really funny. It was all like nerdy movie question based, and I really enjoyed it. That was really cool. It was in one of the very smaller panel rooms. Sadly, that was probably one of my only downsides to the con was the smaller panel rooms were hard to find. They were like off in the corner somewhere. That's not the fault of TerrifiCon. That's just the way the place is set up. But it was hard to find those panel rooms sometimes. So I hope that didn't affect the attendance of these panels because they were some really cool, interesting ones there.
You know what's cool about having those things hidden away is that it's like a nice little hideaway from everything else, like from the hustle and bustle. You turn a corner and before you know it, it's like a nice, quiet hallway. Just sit, chill out, plug your phone up. It was nice. I kind of like it.
So you got some interviews while we were there, Marcellus. Why don't you tell us what you got?
Yeah. So, if you listen to the show before, you know that I'm all about the up and coming independent artists, comic book creators, because, to put out a book and get to a convention and try to sell it, it's a huge task. So I always try to find someone that, who had artwork that I like and, who can give me the elevator pitch and, something that's cool. So I like to support the indie artists. First, I wanted to speak with our buddy Adam Wallenta, just kind of chat with him because he's been on the East Coast for a while. He's been a friend of the show. We've been at conventions for years, it feels like. But he might be doing big things later on because he's moving to the other side of the country. So, yeah, I'm still waiting for Punk Taco Volume 2 to come out. But I chatted with him for a little bit. And that was pretty cool. So, and you know what? Why don't we take a listen to that right now? All right, Wiz Kids, Marky Mark, So Wizard Podcast. I am here with friend of the show, Mr. Adam Wallenta, the creator, co-creator of Punk Taco. Adam, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So, we've had you on the show before. Punk Taco has been a success throughout this the time that you've been making it. What's on the agenda for Punk Taco?
Right now, we're working on Volume 2. It's all penciled. It's being inked and colored right now at the same time, and then we just have to letter it and edit it and put it together, and it'll be out later this year or at the beginning of next year. It just depends on how quickly we move along.
Okay. Right.
So from there, I'm already in the process of working on Volume 3 as far as the story goes.
Oh, okay.
So I know we're going to do 3 volumes, and then from there we'll see how it goes.
All right. Now, I know it was you and Makana that was doing the first one. I would imagine it's you guys doing the second one. You guys already have an idea for what you want to do for the third one?
Not so much an idea. Well, yeah, we know where we want the story to go, but there's a lot of spaces to fill in between, the things that we want to hit on.
Yeah.
And even in Volume 1, there were things that we left out that we're now incorporating into Volume 2, characters that he had come up with. So we put those into Volume 2, and then the same thing for Volume 3.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So talk a little bit about what it's like working with your son on this incredibly beautiful book.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a great experience. So he was just over 5 when we started the book, and just having that time to share with him because I create comics anyways, so that would be time away from the family normally. But now that we're working on this together, we get to spend that time together. We get to talk about ideas. He's also 8, and sometimes he just doesn't want to do things, so sometimes it's like pulling teeth, but in the end, he does enjoy it, and he contributes a lot to the ideas and the story, and that inspires me to keep going as well. So it's really like this really great back and forth of just creativity and laughing and coming up with ideas together. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. I am really looking forward to the day where I am an old man, and he's coming out with the big, thick graphic novels, where he's like a big artist. Like I remember when he was just a little kid at a convention.
Right. Yeah, I part of me hopes he keeps expressing himself through creativity. But, if he wants to pursue other things like being a doctor, or right now he wants to be an adventurer. So, like Indiana Jones. So that's his goal. So whatever he is happy with and wants to be successful at and put his all into, I'll support, whether it's art or something completely different.
All right, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask about music. That when I first met you, you had CDs on the table, which I listened to, which are amazing if you love like that old school boom bap hip hop that I grew up with. Is there anything new on horizon, music wise?
Not officially. I just was speaking to my friend and producer Johnny Juice about doing some new work. So that I have ideas in my head. I have things that I want to say. It's just a matter of sitting down, working on the music, writing the songs, and putting it all together. The music industry is probably even more complicated than the comic book industry, so It's just a matter of finding the time and the right way to do it and get it out to everybody.
Right on. All right. So, Adam, if people want to check out the book and follow up and see the adventures of Punk Taco, where can they find it?
Oh, it's real easy. It's punktaco.com. One word, punktaco.com. You can go there. You can check us out. We're also on Amazon. You can check me out on Facebook or Twitter. That's all under my name, Adam Wallenta, Wallenta. Adam Wallenta. So it's at Twitter or whatever social media is the hot thing at the moment. I'm going to be there. And I usually use my name, so they can find me there.
Right on. Well, Adam, thank you very much, man, for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck with the book. You know we love having you on the show, man. And anytime you have something you want to talk about, you hit us up, all right?
Appreciate that. And definitely check out So Wizard. Love it.
All right. And then next, I chatted with JaVon Stokes. He had a book called Heat. It was Heat, and it was divided up into 3 different issues. I didn't want to get all 3. I didn't want to get 3 separate issues. I wanted to get the whole story all together. So I got the graphic novel that he put together, collecting all 3 issues. The artwork looks pretty cool. He's a really cool dude. He just dropped the 2nd graphic novel. It had his premiere actually at Terrifcon. But he's a really cool dude, and I really am looking forward to digging into this book. So I got a chance to chat with him, and here's my interview with JaVon Stokes. All right, Wiz Kids, Marky Mark, So Wizard Podcast. I'm here with JaVon Stokes, creator of a comic book that I saw when I was walking by that looked pretty cool. It's called Heat. I wanted to check it out. JaVon, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm good. Thank you for this.
Yeah, man, no problem. So this book, it looks pretty cool. You're the writer or the artist?
I am creator, writer, artist, colorist, letterer, editor, everything.
So you do it all. You're like Prince.
Oh, yeah. You can say that.
All right, so tell me about this book, man. What is it? Give me the quick pitch of what it's about.
The quick pitch, I used to give this pitch before, but it's like when you have a cocky quarterback who gets the start for his team and then screws up the first game, fumbles like 4 times. And, how do you keep your position and how do you get better from there? And it's kind of translated for the superhero point of view. Like, how do you get back to being great after you've had your lowest low?
All right. Now, where was the inspiration from the story? Where did it come from?
I don't, honestly, I can't tell you I couldn't remember where the inspiration comes from. I know it started out as a project for a college. Okay. And it originally was a little boy character, and then I changed it to a grown man. Okay. And then it kind of just snowballed from there, and I wrote the script, and I wanted to do kind of a take on Spider-Man, but I wanted to take it a step further. And instead of, and it's a little spoiler, but instead of, Uncle Ben, being the one that dies because of his inaction, this character deals with the death of a civilian due to his ego and his pride.
So it looks like it's one book. No, I'm sorry. It looks like it's 3 books here. How far have you come along in the story? How many issues is it?
Okay, so originally it was going to be an ongoing series, but I kind of switched it, and so the first 3 issues are a miniseries. So it's a single story, start to finish, 1, 2, 3, and then I have a graphic novel that I just completed, which is its own story, 70 pages. It's a own adventure in and of itself.
All right. Well, it looks cool. I can't wait to read it. Can you tell the listeners out there where they can find, if they want to check out your book, if they want to follow you, where can they reach you at?
So you can either go on the actual website, visuallystoke.com, VISUALLY, Stoke, STOKED.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Visually Stoke Media. You can find me on Facebook, Visually Stoke Media, Twitter, same thing.
Nice. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us here at So Wizard Podcast. The book looks good. Good luck with it, man. And, I'm sure I'm going to be running into you in some other conventions too, man.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity, man. I appreciate talking to you.
All right. And then the last interview that I did for the show was with Rob Feldman. He had a book called Cyko KO. And the thing about this book that really grabbed me is that it looks like an old school Hanna-Barbera Saturday morning cartoon, but a more ridiculous version of it. He was a very cool guy. He's a very cool character, just stopping by his table, chatting with him for a few minutes. He gave me a pair of Cyko KO cardboard glasses that looks like something off the back of a cereal box that you cut out and put on. So those, I didn't have enough time to put him on for the interview. I wish I had. But he's a really cool guy. His book looks really cool. And I really enjoyed talking to him. So check out this interview with Rob Feldman. All right, Whiz Kids. Marky Mark, So Wizard Podcast. I am here with Rob Feldman. He has a book called Cyko KO that has like this really cool old school animated style that I was immediately drawn to. So I definitely had to come and check it out. Rob, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, this book looks really cool. Can you explain a little bit about what the story is about? Just give the pitch of how you came up with it and what it's about.
Yeah, so Cyko KO is the story of a rebellious stunt motorcyclist who is sent to Super Earth 28 million light years away to defend the colonies against like giant monsters and crazy characters. But the truth is, he really just wants to like play pinball and eat cereal all day. So it's sort of goofy in that respect. But yeah, it's a real throwback to Hanna-Barbera Saturday morning cartoons. And it's even produced that way in that all the backgrounds are painted. We have storyboards and everything else. I came up with Cyko KO after watching Death Race 2000, right? The Roger Corman film.
Right.
And so I was like, oh yeah, it'd be cool if there was like a motorcycle riding hero. And then, as most ideas, it percolates and you're like, oh, well, it'd be cool if he looked sort of like Godzilla. And I came up with the eyes thinking that Godzilla somehow had eyes like this, which he doesn't at all, like zero. And so I developed the character, but it wasn't until I didn't really do anything with him because I had another property, Dr. Shroud, that I was busy trying to move into film and da-da-da. Yeah. But in 2015... Line Webtoon signed Cyko KO to be their first animated comic strip on their platform.
Wow.
And it actually had sound using their tool FX2.
Yeah.
It actually had sound and motion, so it was laborious and a lot of work, but there were 26 chapters of this character really fitting into what he is now.
Okay.
And I didn't know how to write comedy or anything funny like that. And everything, the pieces just fell into place.
Now, it had a life already as a sort of an animated version on Line Webtoons. Is animation, you think that might be a good fit for it in the future?
Yeah, 100%. I think we had already done some animation tests.
Yeah.
And there is, the way, again, it's produced, there are storyboards that are done first, by the Frame Brothers, just to beat it out, just to make it for a faster process. And I take those storyboards and that's how I structure the panels and the art. And then there's an animation company and these animators I work with, and they do the backgrounds. And so that it retains that Hanna-Barbera look, but at any point it can go to animation because sort of the grunt work, so to speak, is done. I mean, you have the storyboards, you have the art and the assets, and then you have the backgrounds. So it'd be a sort of seamless, semi-seamless move to animation.
Right now it's in comic book form. It looks like there's 3 issues. It says in a limited series. Is there going to be any more books for this character?
Yeah, totally. So there's Cyko KO Volume 2, and that first issue this year will hit the first week in September. Mm-hmm. And then the second one will hit on October 30th. Which has that's totally Scooby-Doo. That's the coloring book is very Scooby-Doo. This one's totally Scooby-Doo. And then the third one will hit in December. So there are 3 more. Now next year, there's going to be even more Cyko KO. So there'll hopefully be another 3 issues in addition to some other stuff. So, but I'll be through Alternate Comics, which Peter Samedi and Alternate Comics is, if you're not familiar with them, go buy all their books now because nobody is doing what they're doing. They just have really, really great, solid books that are affordable and speak to the fans, for real.
That's very true. We did an interview with Peter a couple of weeks ago for one of our episodes, and I walked away with a handful of books because you just can't beat the price and the quality. It's amazing.
Yeah, right. I mean, for you buy what, 4 books for the price of 1? You know, so.
All right, so Rob, if people wanted to check out this book, like I said, it looks beautiful. It's so old school. Where can they find the book, and where can they follow you at?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Feldman, ITS Feldman. Like, hey, it's Feldman. It's Feldman. You can buy the books in any comic shop. You can pre-order it through your comic shop. There will be a version of it in the anthology in case you missed it, which will be available through comic shops and through Sheets. Peter, the Alterna has distribution now through the Sheets, convenience stores. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? Even more old school. Like, if you want kids to find your books, you got to be where they are, right? Yeah. So they're all hanging out in Sheets, apparently. No, like, the parents take them shot. It's like when I discovered books, comic books, at the supermarket, right? Yeah. You know? So you'll be able to find them there. You'll also be able to find them directly at Alterna, at alternaaccess.com. And in fact, that's, I like when you buy direct, it's more money in my pocket. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, and then I sell them through my site. So basically anywhere.
Awesome, and well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Just in case you guys didn't catch it, it's Cyko KO, CYKO KO. Rob, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, man. Good luck with the book.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Yep, so that was Rob Feldman, and then I picked up the final issue the latest issue of Juvenile Diversion from Heather and Dean Farrington, who you might remember from the episode where we went to Plastic City. I finally got a chance to interview them because I picked up their book a few years ago, started reading that. I didn't want to wait another year till I saw them again, so I definitely wanted to grab the latest book that they had for Juvenile Diversion, so I grabbed that, and I'm looking forward to digging into that too. So, another convention, another stack of books that I got to read, but this time, I got some awesome stickers to go with it.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, we also got to see a lot of our friends that we see at shows all the time. The Loose Cannon, Jar Jar Jeremy, Keith Gleason, Tim Jones,
Johnny C.
Matt Man,
yeah.
Pine of Comics. A lot of the Connecticut Pod Squad, Pine of Comics, hanging with Chad, the Nomcast.
Oh, yeah, and the Dorkening podcast. Those guys were pretty cool.
I'm going to forget more people. I know this. G.I. Gary was there as well.
Yeah. And we also got to sit down and do a quick interview with Steve and Christina, which was pretty cool. Like right off the bat, we were not the ones doing the interview, and we were actually being interviewed ourselves. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. I think you're going to be able to hear that on his show, Super Retro Throwback Reviews, coming up next week. We ran into Woman Crush of the Year Hall of Famer Akane Saotome.
That's right.
We saw Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Ace Fett.
Yep, Ace was there as well. So yeah, it was great to see so many people we always see at different cons as well. It's such a small community in our little Northeast Comic-Con family, so it's nice to see everybody. And I really had a blast at TerrifiCon. I wish we could have gone for more than one day.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see what the after party was at Terrifcon, kind of get nuts and see how they get down like that, and didn't show up the next day. That would have been fun.
Just go out and rage at the casino. We'll see. Maybe next year. But we had a really good time. What did you think of the cosplay that you saw around the con this year, Mark?
Dude, can I just say, and anyone who listens to the show knows how much if you don't know, now you know, I love Speed Racer. Speed Racer is my jam. And it's a character that never gets enough love. So whenever I go to a convention and I see someone dressed as Speed Racer, I got to get a picture with them. That's a must. And last year, I did see someone dressed as Speed Racer, but me and Joey were outside the building and he was inside, and I ran in to find him and I couldn't find him. So last year was kind of a bust. But this year, not only did I see Speed Racer, I saw 2 Speed Racers. In 2019, I saw 2 Speed Racer cosplays. That is a win in my book, as far as I'm concerned. So that was probably the highlight for me as far as cosplays go.
Awesome. Yeah, there were some really cool ones that we saw. There was the K2SO from Rogue One. That was really cool. That was really, really cool. Yeah, there was just a lot. There was just so much. We took a ton of pictures of cool ones that we saw. We put up on our Facebook page, so you can always go check out the album there for TerrifiCon 2019. And any final thoughts on TerrifiCon?
Yeah, I had a great time. Mitch throws an amazing convention. And one of the things I really loved is seeing him out on the floor with the mic. He was definitely in the Billy D. Williams panel, and he was kind of coaching. People would stand up to like ask a question from Billy D. Williams, and of course their friends would be filming them. And he would like set people up to like, make sure they get the right shot and doing it in a joking way, but in a really funny way. He is a great host. So Mitch throws an amazing convention. If you get a chance to go to Terrifcon, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Blue Watcher, Blue BLU_Watcher_. He won the Lando Calrissian disguise when we were at Terrifcon. Whoever asked the best question of Billy D. Williams wins a Lando Calrissian disguise, which is pretty much a fake mustache. But he won it, and he was sitting like right next to us. So I had to give him a shout out. The guy's awesome. Check out the picture on the Facebook page.
Awesome. Yeah, I will agree. I love Terrificon. It's something I'm looking forward to every year now. Cannot wait to go back next year. But speaking of Comic Cons, Marcellus, it is time for our Patreon feedback question of the week, which you can get in on by being a Patreon of our show. Support us monetarily. We'll ask you a question every week, and if I remember, we'll read it out on the show with your answers. And that is with all tiers of support on our Patreon. So let's get at it. This week, we decided to ask our Patreons, do you go to Comic Cons? And if so, what is your favorite? And if not, why? So let's get started. Johnny Ganaj, you heard him on the show a few weeks ago talking about the movie Crawl. You, of course, listen to the Pine of Comics podcast that he's on. Said his favorite is Terrificon. So there you go. Surprising, but he does look forward to the craziness of New York Comic Con every year. He misses the original Boston Comic Con.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my first cons. I love that con.
Yeah, Boston, I was talking to him about it in Boston, reminds me a lot of a not as good as Terrificon. It had a pretty good balance of celebrities and comics.
Yeah.
So that was a cool con, but it's morphed into something else now that we didn't decide to go to this year because there's only so much money in the bank.
Right.
Great. So Maggie from Rock Candy Podcast, another one of our absolute favorite podcasts to listen to, said she hasn't gone in a long time to a convention for fun other than going to things to help her friend run his booth. But she used to go to New York Comic Con every year, but now it's too expensive and bananas. I told her she needs to go to New York and hang out with us, but we'll see. G.I. Gary, Terrificon again. Paul from the Countdown Podcast said he does not go because he's in Australia and everything is lamer there.
They must have conventions in Australia, though.
Yeah, you get like Men at Work to play.
There you go. Kangaroo Con.
That's right. The stars of Kangaroo Jack could autograph there. Yahoo Serious. I swear that I know more about Australia than that, but I'm sure there's giant spiders everywhere. It's great. Desmond, who you may remember from the Nerd-tastic 4 podcast back in the day, said that he doesn't go anymore to cons because the local one is too small and repetitive, and the big ones are too much of a pain to get in and out of. But he'd like to see a decent regional one in his area in Texas. So that's our Patreon feedback. Marcellus,
yeah,
I know it's hard to choose between your children, but do you have a favorite con that we go to every year?
That's tough, man. I don't know.
I honestly don't. And I thought about the answer to this because and it's not to sound like diplomatic or like a politician, but there's things I love about every con that we go to every year.
So. Right. Exactly. There's some things that you can only get at certain cons that are just great for that con that probably wouldn't work for other cons.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't really have a favorite, but I do really enjoy, I don't know, as long as there's like independent artists selling their wares, I'm good. I'm good with that. And some cosplayers, that's good. As far as the ones that we go to, they're all good. The ones that I go to by myself, Dragon Con. That's my favorite one.
Well, our next show is going to be New York Comic Con this October. It's going to be our first time as press. I'm really excited. I'm really nervous. We've been working our balls off for 5 years to get the opportunity to go to the second biggest convention in the entire continent of North America as press. And I don't know what the fuck to expect, but it's going to be nuts. So I suggest that you're following us on everything and subscribe to the show so you can hear all about the insanity of 4 days in New York City. But that's going to do it for our coverage of TerrifiCon. We'll have some stuff up on YouTube. We have pictures all over Facebook and Instagram, so check them out. Thank you once again, Mitch, so much for letting us go as press. We can't wait to be there next year. All right, and that is going to wrap it up for our trip to TerrifiCon 2019. We had a fantastic time. Thank you, Mitch, so much for giving us the press passes to cover the show, and we hope to be back next year. Let's wrap it up with some recommendations for the listeners. Aubrey, what do you got?
I recommend
Having a week off of classes.
yes. I have been using my week off to watch The Boys. And stare at the ceiling since Noah started kindergarten. In all fairness, though, I really was freaking out because they messed up his bus.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, they had assigned him to a bus to be picked up and dropped off at home instead of a bus to pick him up and drop him off at his before and after school program. So my plan was already to bring him today because I had to bring a whole bag full of school supplies. But then my concern was where he was going to go at the end of the day. And Noah doesn't do very well with very sudden changes like that. So I didn't know how to prepare him for it. So I finally got the bus all situated so he would be going to the after school program, which he was already familiar with. And my main concern was like, they're going to put him on a bus and I'm not going to be at the end of the street to pick him up. So they're going to take him somewhere else. And then he's going to freak out because he has no idea where he is, why they're kidnapping him or anything. And so that was the main reason why I was so anal about contacting everybody today and because I had to wait until almost 4:00 to make sure he actually got on the right bus, even though I had contacted many different people to verify that that's where he would be going. So it was a stressful day, but the rest of the week should be better. Because I have no soul and I don't actually have feelings.
Yeah, right.
What about you, Marcellus? What are you recommending to the listeners this week?
I'm going to recommend a show called Woo Assassins on Netflix. Even though I haven't seen it, because I've been busy, but I've asked all of my friends who have seen it, and then they've given it the thumbs up. So that's good enough for me. I'm ready for it. We talked about it a little bit before. When we watched the trailer, it looks cool. I think it's going to be awesome. It's on Netflix. Woo Assassins. It's all about the woo. Woo is for the children.
That's right. Awesome. Well, I will recommend that you go to SoWizardPodcast.com where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media accounts on the right-hand side of the page. Movie reviews, streaming picks, so much more. SoWizardPodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or just about any podcatcher under the sun. We will be there. Check out our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search So Wizard Podcast. We're there with exclusive free weekly content there for you, plus the podcast if that's how you want to listen to it as well. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/So Wizard Podcast. You can monetarily support the show and get yourself some extra episodes and more So Wizard Podcast on Patreon. I will suggest that you go to the movies and check out Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I loved those books as a kid. I'm really hoping this is going to capture that feeling from those books, because that, my friends, is what we're going to be reviewing next week on the podcast. So you got to watch it so you know what's going on. Other than that, that is going to do it for episode number 262 of the So Wizard Podcast. I've been your host, Joey DiCarlo. My co-hosts are the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
Boys.
And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagans.
Everybody have a good week. Enjoy the movies. Wakanda forever.
I've been your host, Joey DiCarlo. This has been So Wizard Podcast. We'll see you next week. Good journey.
Thanks for the nice belch right in the middle of the music, of the theme music.
You're welcome.